Welcome. This is Tapped In. My name is Figueroa-Martinez of DFM Coaching, and this episode is entitled "What Kind of Training Partner Are You?" It's an interesting topic. I think that sometimes we get on the mats and we start losing focus of what that mat time is supposed to be. Training is not a solo endeavor. It's a shared experience where two people are trying to attain a similar goal. The training space, the time on the mats, in the gym, even open mats, they're all shared experiences. They're all moments where you can each learn from one another. It should never feel like one person's the main character and the other person is a supporting cast. If you approach your training that way regularly, you're going to miss out on quite a bit. You're going to miss out on those moments where you have aha moments where they do something and you didn't anticipate it, or you don't build up your training partners to the point where they can give you the proper resistance. Being that I came from a small gym at one point, it was super imperative and important for us to mentor and get the younger or the newer students up to par so that we can benefit from having them as we decided to compete. When we are either injuring our training partners because we're going too hard or too fast for them, or we're not giving them any feedback of quality, they're either going to quit or it's going to take them so much longer to become quality training partners. That learning process comes every time you encounter someone. So, as a training partner, if you are not at least giving moments or time for them to develop, you're robbing yourself and them. I've also had training partners that they didn't do well when it came to losing. They didn't do well when you put them in a bad spot, when you swept them, when you started to go for a submission and they would claw at you. They would pull at your fingers. I've had training partner who wrist locked me really bad. And I mean, almost to the point where I thought I injured something severely. It came on super heavy, super fast, body weight, and I'm writhing in pain and they didn't look at me at all. They didn't, hey, are you okay? Anything I could do? Nothing. So there are training partners out there that are just super like self-involved. They don't care about anything else. They don't care about whether their training partner comes back tomorrow, whether they're able to go to work the following day. Those are shitty training partners. Shitty. Don't bother training with them. Don't be that version. Again, you're incorporating so much into someone else when you step on the mats. You're giving them feedback. You're giving them data points. You're giving them responses and counters. And it's like having a conversation. We're both trying to learn a specific topic. Let's say we're discussing rocket science, shit I don't know anything about. As we discuss, neither one of us technically know everything about that subject. We're trying to develop or maybe spring ideas. And what if we tried this? And have you heard about that? And what if, have you heard or read this book? So those conversations like encourage growth, fresh ideas. The other person starts to bounce ideas off of your ideas. And then you start getting into this lane that maybe no one's ever thought about or no one at the gym has thought about. So that's kind of what that training evolution is. You're providing a situation, they're responding with a counter, you're responding with a counter to the counter, and you're both building on one another. It should really feel like a cooperative discussion where you're trying to get to the similar endpoint. I used to train and I don't want to say I had a difficult time with it, but uh, I would have like, especially when I was a little more advanced and I had to go with like a white belt that was just a few weeks or a few months in. It was a big gap. And my coach said, of the 6 minutes, give them 4. And I may have mentioned this on a previous episode. Give them 4. Those 4, your job is to coach without really saying much and feed them problems, allow them to have some kind of solutions or come up with solutions on their own, I should say. And then watch what they're doing. And if they're doing things wrong, then you give them more problems, but not so many problems that they can't think or can't figure things out or at least respond with something of quality. You want to give them just enough that it encourages the conversation to continue, but not so much that they're bombarded with so much information that they don't know what words to use, if that makes sense. And then he said, the last 2 minutes are yours. You don't want to completely wreck them. Like you're not just going to steamroll them, but now that you're focused on yourself, your job is to make sure that they're safe, that they're not doing anything crazy that's going to injure you or injure someone around you. But you can now hit the gas a little bit, and the focus is you specifically. Now they got to deal with the things that you're pushing forward. And I've always taken that concept with me as I developed into purple, brown, and finally into black, where I understand, hey, they got to have their time. I'll allow myself to be put in bad positions. I may slow the action down a bit for someone who's nearer and doesn't have the answers readily available. I might force the action to circle back to a mistake they made. There's times when I might use less of my attributes, less pressure, less speed. Maybe I only use one hand. Maybe I only frame. I allow myself to sit in bad positions longer and letting them play and develop. And then when it's time to go, I go. So this is a shared work. And the more we can view it as a shared work, the more both of us are going to end up developing at a faster rate. And the other person feels like you actually gave a shit. There's nothing worse than you get on the mats and this person barely looks at you, barely acknowledges your existence. And then you slap hands and they're just going. They're not allowing you to work. They're not allowing you to do anything. And the entire time you're just defending and praying that you're okay by the end of it. Those aren't as helpful. They're needed from time to time. Like if you got an ego and you're starting to feel yourself a little bit, it's really healthy to go against someone who just smashes the fuck out of you. It makes you realize what level you're at, especially if you're at a smaller gym and you're the big dog there, you're a purple belt and you're the highest ranking and you're wrecking people. It's really easy to start drinking that Kool-Aid and thinking you're better than you really are. And then you go to a in-house or a cross-training event somewhere else and a blue belt wrecks you. Like it's healthy for the ego. Also, when you're rolling, kind of what I got into, you're teaching, you're coaching. You don't want to develop where you're just overly situation where you're just saying too much and you're walking them through too much. You don't want to do that. But you want to be able to coach them along. And something that I end up doing is, all right, well, where should your hand be? And then they work it out. Or if I hear that they're breathing too hard, take a deep breath. If I see that their frames are not where they should be, I'll apply a lesson. I'll maybe shift with my chest so the frame collapses and then apply some weight. And then maybe I let up again. They apply the frame back in. And if they do it again, then I'll point it out to them. Hey, your frame's too low. The angle of your frame allows me to collapse it. Then I get to apply weight to you. You don't want that. So these little moments where you can coach people through are really important. You want them to feel, again, like it's a cooperative thing. You're teaching them, but you don't want to bombard them. This should not be a 2-minute discussion about how you pass the guard. This should not be a thing where they're so like bored that they can't roll. Like it has to be quick. Bad partners, common bad partners I've had, people who go too hard, people who avoid rough rounds completely, tend to people who kind of like they match, but they don't do anything. Like it's almost like stalling. They like you're trying to pass and they match your intensity in the pass and they defend it, but they don't do anything with it. So it becomes too defensive. Drives me nuts. People who, again, like I commented earlier, people who overcoach. These are all unproductive forms of training partners. They don't help. They become an issue. They'll drive me nuts at times. So in order to be a really good partner, the qualities that I want you guys to focus on if you're kind of struggling with it is adjust your pace. I do not push the pace super hard against people who don't quite know what they're doing. I don't want them to get into the bad habit of feeling like I have to do things fast. If you can't do it slow, what makes you think you can do it fast? So I do things when I'm rolling with a new person. I do things really slow, almost like a little game with myself where I say, how slow can I pass this man's guard with all the controls in mind where he can't stop me? How slow can I get my hand in the collar while in close guard where he still can't do anything about it? And if I can do everything super slow and still get what I want, I'm happy. So when you're rolling with people, match or be aware of adjusting that pace. There's times when I roll with someone who's older or someone who's out of shape, who has obviously either not been doing something for a while or maybe they took a break or they're a little older. We're not going 90 miles an hour. We're going slower. I need them to understand and be able to respond to things. So we're going much, much slower. People who are more athletic, maybe I go a little faster. Pay attention to what they're doing. Pay attention to what you're doing. You don't want to get anyone hurt. Pay attention to the people around you. You don't want to go for a sweep and have like pull this guy over and balloon sweep and then land on the person just outside of your field of vision. So it's really important to pay attention to everything that's going around you. Pay attention to the things that they're trying to get better at. Pay attention to the things that you want to get better at and how you can gauge for both of you to cooperatively move forward. Prioritize clean reps. If I'm rolling with someone and I understand that sometimes we want to win, if the win means that I hit this sequence really ugly, it's not really a win for me. If I hit this sequence and potentially injure someone or myself because I used too much strength, it's not a win. I remember I was rolling with a brown belt at the time, and I was trying to hit this throw. And I had the collar, had the sleeve. I planted my foot in his hip, and I was trying to take him over, and he dropped his weight really well. And my dumbass, I was like, nah, I think I can still get him. So I tried to muscle it. And as I was muscling it, something in my hip gave. I could not tell you what it was, but I felt not a tearing, but like something like if you're clenched and then there's like a pull. I felt that, and I couldn't move for a few minutes. I just laid there. Uh, Apparently, maybe a hip flexor or whatever. I don't even really know what it was. I ended up having to take a little bit of time off to recuperate, but that was a lesson for me. I need to hit these things clean. Whatever I'm doing has to be clean, and when it doesn't feel like a whole lot of effort, that's the cleanest techniques. When I have to muscle things, I tend to shy away from it. It's not great for me. It doesn't help me. It puts me in a weird position. I might strain something. I might hurt them. So understand when things are clean, when the timing's perfect, when the things just align just right. That's when you go for those techniques. If it's not clean, keep working at it. Obviously, make things safe for everyone around you. Train with a purpose, not ego. I touched on that with the deciding to hit things with clean. When you're training, let's say you're training with a woman or a smaller guy, men tend to be driven by ego. And there's times when a woman might get the better of you or start to, and you decide you want to Hulk out. There's nothing beneficial about that whatsoever. Just take the loss. It's better for you and it's better for them that no one gets injured, no one does some dumb shit and make this whole situation awkward and dangerous. Just accept it. There's times when I've even had to catch myself where I'm rolling with someone and I fell asleep at the wheel. I'm now caught in some choke that I should never have been in. I'm a black belt. I should have seen this shit coming. I'm not going to fucking tap to this. And then things start to get dark. And then my reasoning brain comes in and says, we're not going to sleep. That'd be more embarrassing, which is correct. Just tap. So I tap and we start over. The ego thing is not great for you. It's great when you're competing, when you think that you're the best, because when you think you're great, you act great, and you compete great. And that's when that ego's great. It's really beneficial. On the mats, it's not a great thing. It doesn't help. It gets you in problems, trouble. It puts you in danger when you shouldn't be in danger. You don't want to tap to this arm bar, but it's damn near hyperextending. Don't don't do it. Just be smart. Be a good partner. Don't put that on them. There's no need for them to feel like, oh, I just fucking broke this guy's arm because he wouldn't tap and now I feel guilty. It's not fair for them. So being a great partner equals being someone people can really trust. That's the biggest part of all of this. If you're trustworthy, if they can trust that you're going to respect the tap, if they trust that you can keep them safe even when they're not aware of the danger of a technique or someone's around them. Like I love when I have a full room and I notice I should probably go walk over here and get this group away from the other group. And one of the higher belts in the group notices it on themselves or by themselves. That's huge. It shows that there's an awareness there and they're keeping everyone around them safe. Absolutely love it. You'll be remembered for how you train with people. So don't forget that no one's going to remember when you tap. No one gives a shit. But they'll remember when you took care of them, when you encouraged them, when you rolled in a way that they they felt like they got something out of it. I've rolled with people who I've got zero out of it and it did nothing for me. And I've rolled with people who have been able to walk me through things without telling me things. And it was just this super in sync type of a roll. And those are the most fun. Those are the ones that I love the most because it's like a dance. And when you can make people feel like, okay, they got something out of it, that's an expert. Leave your ego, bring awareness. If I can bring this up into one thing, it's be safe and be cooperative. Don't make this any more difficult or awkward than it has to be. Jiu-Jitsu is weird anyway. Don't be a dick. Be kind, be courteous, take care of the people around you. Those are going to be great qualities that are going to allow you to develop and grow your jiu-jitsu. Again, so just be kind. That's the best part of. I remember all my kind partners. I also remember the dickheads, but the kind ones are the ones that I love training with, and wow, and I get happy when they get promoted. And so be kind. At the end of the day, that's the one thing that you really need. So I hope you like this episode. Any questions, please let me know. You can reach me at dfm.2099 or the website dfmcoaching.com. Any questions, please reach out to me. I love answering questions. If there's anything you want me to cover at some point, please let me know. I'm kind of having fun with this, so I'm running with it. Thank you.